Hi students, how are you all? In the last video we have seen All the World's a Stage written by William Shakespeare. In that glossary, author note and line after line poems and its meaning and summary we have seen. And today the remaining part regarding its short questions, appreciations and poetical device, ERC explain with reference to the context and the entire paragraph on the examination point of view, and they should be written. We will see them in elaborately. See now short questions and appreciation, and for model we are written 10, and then for appreciation there is poem lines and following that 4 questions, and how they should be answered, and these questions the related line will be given by the question setter, and under that the question will be asked what is the world compared to, and this model for it is for the first line the entire, that is all the world's a stage. If it is the line, the question will be like this, and all the questions they give lines, and above that as I have written model this side, and they have set frame some questions and based on the lines given above. The first question, what is the world compared to? The world is compared to a stage. As per the line, all the world is a stage. What is the world compared to? The world is compared to a stage, and that is all answer enough. What is asked and that part is essential. The other part 1 or 2 additionally writing is our wish, but the exact answer is expected. Second question, what do the words exits and entrances mean? Exits, the meaning death, dates, and entrances means births. Exact meaning we want to write. The meaning of the words exits and entrances are deaths and births. We want to write like that, and sometimes the children are writing first birth and then death, but in our poem first given is exits. Exits means going away from the stage. Here going away from the world, it means death. Then entrances means coming to the scene, that is on the stage to perform our role, that is here birth. If you want to change and write the answer, write first word entrances and next word exits, then write your answer birth and death. That is correct. Always according to the question answering is the correct. If for exits and entrances, if you write birth and death, the answer will become wrong, because your answer is for first one and the second one to this. So it's changed, right? Exits means death and entrances means birth. Then third question, what is the first stage of a human life? First stage of a human life is, you all know those 7 stages of man, what we learned, that is infant stage, schoolboy, lover and soldier, the 5th stage judge, 6th stage aged man or old age, and last stage is very old age or second infant stage. The question asked here is, what is the first stage of a human life? That is after given birth, it is called infant stage. What is the first stage of a human life? The first stage of a human life is infant stage, and it is third. Then I describe the second stage of life. In the second stage, the boy goes unwillingly towards school with a shining face and taking his school bag on his shoulder, and is unwillingly towards his school. His walk is also compared here like snail. That means he goes to his school very slowly. That should be explained. Second stage is school boy stage. Then how is that in school boy stage? And 3 should be remembered and written, and one is unwilling to go to school. There is no interest at all. Reluctantly he goes to school. How is his face? Shining, bright face. Then the last is walking is compared to a snail walking. All the 3 you write, and because they asked to describe the second stage of life. Then next question, how does a man play a lover's role? The first 2 stages dependent stage. Now he comes to independent stage. In this independent stage, he functions himself. He takes a decision and all, and he is now somewhat grown up. And in that grown up age, he selects a woman and he wanted to marry her, and for that he writes some woeful ballads, that is unhappy verses and songs he writes. And then if he is not getting marriage with that lady, he become unhappy and composes a lot of poems regarding her beauties and her appearance. And this is how he completes his lover's role. While writing a lover role, I mentioned the 3, that is a woeful ballad, and selects a woman and explains her external appearance, that is her beauty, and close your answer by writing those 3 lines. Then next question, bring out the features of the 4th stage of a man. Features: external appearance of the person is now well grown up, and is the 4th stage, a soldier stage. As he is a soldier, he is fighting with the enemy countries, and he wanted all glories, honors and everything for him. He grows a beard like a leopard, and he fights, and he wanted to earn a good name and fame for his side. So he mentions his bubble, that is empty glory, bubble reputation. He mentioned this word, bubble reputation. And then he passes this age. He completes his role, that is soldier role. Here he performs his patriotism, that is as a citizen of a country, how he should safeguard of it and all in the soldier stage. Then after describing a man enter the 7th, that is 5th stage, and then question, when does a man become a judge? In the 5th stage, after completing of the soldier stage, he enters in the 5th stage. In that 5th stage, he becomes judge. A judge means is full of maturity and wisdom, and quotes from proverbs and some modern instances. And his body, beard, what he grown in the 4th stage, is now formal cut, trim it, and he eats a lot non-vegetarian food and grows his flesh, and he earns money too. How he becomes with wisdom and maturity. For how the answer we want, right? And now he knows all good and bad, and what should be done, and sincerely and strictly performing his duty without failing. And when does a man become judge? In the 5th stage he becomes judge, and he performs his role like a royal man. And how maturity and wisdom. Then next question, which stage of man's life is associated with shrunk, shank? These two words, shrunk and shank. We know meaning. Shrunk means narrower or smaller, growing narrower or smaller. Shank means like taken away some piece of meat from your body, become lean and thin. And this stage is sixth stage. And which is stage of man's? Sixth stage. Is the answer up to this, associated with shrink and shank. Now man became lean and flushes and all goes away and is narrower, it becomes somewhat shorter and narrower. And in this question the main answer is shrunk and shank. The word is associated with the sixth stage. The next question, why is the last stage called second childhood stage? In the second childhood stage, a man wanted help from others. He is without eyesight, he is without any taste, he is without any hearing power, he is without everything. So that the last stage is called second childhood stage. In that infant stage, man, the baby born got support from nurse, mother and caretaker of those family. The same he returns in the seventh stage. In the seventh stage is also like the first stage, he needs support. Then because of his age, senility. Senile or senility, the man wanted support from younger generation or middle-aged people. Then, why does the poet call the world a stage? The stage, the title, all the world is a stage. We all are given birth on this earth and playing our role on this earth. So that the poet calls the world a stage. We know the stage is an area, a raised platform, either in a theatre or in a arena, and where some activities actors do their performance. Like the world is a stage, we perform our role on that. That is why he calls the world a stage. The answers should be written exactly according to the questions given. Be careful, too many number of questions can be framed from the poem in the given line. So, we have taken a few for example, and maximum you want to extract, and each line we can frame 2 or 3 questions. And the model and examination model appreciation, written here the poem line. Then the whining schoolboy with his chatchel and the shining morning face creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And you see there are some words, 3 lines. Questions may be taken even more than this, taken 4. Which stage of the life is being referred to her by the poet, to here by the poet? Whining schoolboy, second stage is the answer. Next, what are the characteristics of this stage? What is the characteristic? Takes back, that is chachal, and how is his face and body and all shining like morning face, that is morning face. How he walks like snail, and they are the characteristics of this stage. Generally, when a schoolboy or a schoolgirl stage, and these all are the characteristics. Then how does the boy go to school? Not willingly, unwillingly to school. He goes to school without more interest, unwillingly to school. And the last question, and sometimes one or two places they may ask you, mention the figure of speech employed in the second line. What we are going to see separately figure of speech now, and before that you see this, mention the figure of speech employed in the second line, given 3 line given, you do not go to there in the poem second line. Here you see the given 2 lines, this is the second line. The mention the figure of speech employed in the second line, read this, on shining morning face, creeping like snail. Comparison is done by using like. We know what is simile. Simile is a figure of speech when the poet takes a noun to explain the unknown. Here he takes noun snail, the unknown is the boy's walk. He compares, we all know snail, how it walks. Then the boy is, school going boy's walking is compared to through the snail's movement. And by using as or like, if any comparison is done from known to unknown, is called simile. Simile spelling S-I-M-I-L-E. This is the spelling. Do not write any extra I, or some people write smile. You do not write like that. S-I-M-I-L-E. That is the figure of speech employed in this line. You may write simile is the figure of speech employed in the second line. You see all these questions, and more than this we have questions, and we will see line by line. You while reading the poem line, you yourself can frame what are the questions can be framed in it. What are the questions the setter may take it from this line. By thinking, if we go through, can get easily marks in this area. And next we will go to poetical device part. Poetical device, choose an maximum lines, what area they can ask in the poetical device area. All the worlds a stage, here stage and world, and the two are compared, what we have seen previously about simile, but here without like or as. The two things these both are comparison only, but it is simile and it is metaphor. Here by using the direct word like or as comes there in the line, he fought like lion, the lion fights very vigorously, ferociously, the man's fight is also compared to lion's fight, that is simile. He is lion in the fight without like or as directly written, like here the world's a stage. So, it comes under metaphor. It is also a comparison, but without using like or as. The comparison is done without using like or as is called metaphor. And second, and all men and women merely players, the same. Men and women are like players. It would have been written like that for a simile, but it is for metaphor, there is no any as or like. So, men and women are compared to without using as or like to the actors, that is players. Then full strange woes and bearded like the pod, whereas here they have used like, and directly you can say by closing eyes simile. The figure of speech used in this line, the poetical device is simile. And then seeking the bubble repetition. How is that glory? The repetition is like bubble. metaphor. The temporary glory is without like or as, it is also compared. The reputation is very short lived, like a bubble. So, the comparison is done without as or like, it comes under the figure of speech metaphor. And his manly voice turning towards childish treble. But here we cannot come to a conclusion of any clue like metaphor or simile or any other kind, and none of the word is capitalized to write as personification and all, but turning begins with the T, toward begins with the T, and treble begins with the T. And what is the figure of speech used by the poet in this line is alliteration. Alliteration is also a kind of figure of speech used by the poet in his poem lines, that is by repeating its same consonant and consonant sounds. The repeated consonant sound is written in a poem line, in a single poem line, is called alliteration. And this is one. And another is and again. And another word is also there, and again. It is not consonant sound, but it is vowel sound. The repeated vowel sound words are called assonance. Assonance. Alliteration and assonance, and both are used in this line. By going through the line thorough, if there is no any personification, you know what is personification? If non-living things are given soul and given respect like living thing, it is called personification. It is not like that here, and there is no any comparison, and there is no any exaggeration to write hyperbole, a kind of figure of speech, and there is no any repetition to write repetition, a figure of speech, and there we have alliteration and assonance. And this and again is assonance, and turning toward treble, those words are alliteration. Write either alliteration or assonance or both, and what is there. Maximum lines we have like this. You see, for take this line, mainly we should take metaphor only. Some people will write man, merely. Man and mere is also coming under alliteration. So, metaphor is there, and as well as alliteration is there. As the figure of speech is concerned in this poem, and these all are that important area, and in the remaining area you can find easily alliteration and assonance only. And we will move to the next ERC, explain with reference to the context. ERC carries 3 marks. The mark division as per our public key pattern, title 1 mark, we should write exactly, and then poet name 1 mark, we should write exactly the poet name, and then explanation carries another mark. So, this is the poem line. Just I have written example. His second childishness and mere oblivion, sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. How ERC should be attempted? You know, you have written our public examination in the 11th standard, and 3 in that. The first one is reference, and then second one is context, and the third topic in this is explanation, and then fourth is also can be written comment. But the marks are allotted reference, then next context, and next explanation and comment. You see, and it is the concluding line of the poem, all the world a stage. That is, the last two lines is given here. Is second childishness and mere oblivion, sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. For reference, we want to write and where it is taken from and who wrote it. These lines are taken from the poem All the World's a Stage, written by William Shakespeare. This is one way, and another way, these lines are the Shakespeare's lines taken from All the World's a Stage. A monologue given by Jobs to Duke Senior in a play As You Like It, and this all can be written in the reference part, but mainly what is the expected for correction is title of the poem and writer of the poem. If you are writing two more lines like it is an extract from As You Like It, a monologue given to a character called Jacques to Duke Senior. We may write in that also, even Act 2, Scene 7. These all are in the reference. If you want to 99 and all, some detail is expected because it will add image to the evaluator, and the evaluator may think that you are veteran in English. Actually, you are veteran only. By writing this and all only, you can get not reducing mark in even general part also. Then you come to context. In the context is the meaning of this line. Second childishness is very old age, and old age automatically goes to forgetfulness, and without teeth, eye and taste and everything, you become like a child. You may write in a single or two line. And the second childishness is nothing but second infant stage or very old age. He needs support and he loses everything, hearings and also seeings and also the things like teeth, etc. This is in context. It should be written in context. Then in explanation, he explained the last stage of the man. Due to senility, and every human being, those who are living up to that 7th stage and need support from others, in that senility is mere oblivion. Oblivion means he forgets everything. He nothing knows what is happening in and around of him. He is always there in a room or on a bed, and he loses teeth, eyes and also taste, and he become without everything. This is the explanation what you want to write. Explain fully about the 7th stage, that is very old stage. This is the explanation. Now you have earned already 3 mark. Then the comment may be about a particular word or any style of writings or general philosophy. Here we may take, on my point of view, oblivion and sans, the words like sans. William Shakespeare used exact words in the exact place. It is a verse should be orderly written by using very exact words. How brilliantly William Shakespeare handled those words some 4 centuries ago may be the comment. Or you may give general comment like this. William Shakespeare given man's role and how he ends in his concluding lines. The man, how he goes out from the earth at the ending. Give your own comment. The comment what you are writing should be generally meaningful and accepted. And ERC 3 marks, and what we have seen here and all, each carries a mark. 2 questions or maybe 3 questions may be asked, According to that we must answer. Here it is 3 mark. Next we are coming now the 5 mark question. What message does Shakespeare's All the World's a Stage convey? A human being life message is conveyed. You write like introduction about poet. What we give you idea about writing introduction, 3 to 4 line. Name of the writer and when he was born, where he was born, and what was his achievement and all may be written there in that. Then after introduction, you come now by dividing 7 ages, all the world's a stage. From infant stage, how it needs support, how it cries. When it gets angry, cries. When it vomits, we need support and we do it. Then in the second stage, in the school going boy, he goes unwillingly towards school like snail walks. Then you go third stage, a lover, his furnace like fire and whoop ballads. He composes some poems, sad verses, and then he explains about the beauty of his beloved lady love. Then he enters in the fourth stage. There in the fourth stage he is a soldier and he is a safeguard of his country. Then he is wanted all glory for him. For that bubble repetition, there he works hard. Then next he goes to the fifth stage. In the fifth stage he became judge and a matured person, have a lot of wisdom and gives instance and examples, and he finalizes a lot of problem there and grows his belly by eating more, and all there you should write. The next sixth stage he became old age, became thin and lean, and he is keeping a pouch and his saved money is in that. Then in the last stage, the infant stage, second infant stage, there he wanted support from others, because due to senility. And now this is the message. The life message of the people are written by William Shakespeare in his poem All the World's a Stage. Now you conclude the poem by writing the theme. What is the theme here? The poet says to us is, mere our life on this earth is temporary. That is he told. In the living time, what we have done good to the people will be remain ever on this earth, like Shakespeare lives even after 400 years. The good will be living everlasting and eternally. All we have come to know from William Shakespeare's poem is like a quote from Bible, man came out of the dust and again he is going to become dust. That's dust thou art, to dust returnest. The body will become death and decay because it is mortal. But in entire places, William Shakespeare have not mentioned about the soul. The soul is immortal and it is everlasting and it is eternal. Soul is eternal. Like what we are all here, we are come here traveling. In that traveling we are playing our role, all the 7 roles. After finishing our role, we go to graveyard. And this is how William Shakespeare gives a theme of this poem. Children, and go through thoroughly what I have told repeatedly 2 or 3 times, then get idea from your materials, and directly when you come to the class also we are going to explain if you have doubt. Then on the examination point of view, be ready for in this. And today we have seen from short questions, appreciation, poetical device, and then ERC explained with reference to the context, then paragraph. In that paragraph, introductory part, answer part, and last the theme, the conclusion. So all is possible, nothing is impossible in man's life, but and we are living very temporarily on this earth. You don't forget. Thank you, children. I will meet you in the next video.